Let me level with you. You might not think of yourself as a Jedi, but you act like one. Or at least how I want them to be.
I've had kind of an outlined plan that I had since I worked with George about where Ahsoka's progression is as far as a character at different time periods of the Star Wars universe. I've been trying to get her to this kind of pseudo samurai look, which is what her armor is based on now, for quite some time. I want it to look like armor that she would have found somewhere, that she had gone into an old temple and got this ancient Jedi armor. I found some old photographs of samurai women from long time ago, and that started to influence the costume because I wanted her to become more of a warrior-like looking character. And her lightsabers are completely new as well. There'll be a great moment where she actually turns those things on for the first time in season 2, and you'll see that her blades, they're basically white because she's not Jedi and she's not evil, to kind of reflect her non-affiliation. At the end of the day, for Ahsoka, even though she's left the Jedi Order, she cannot, in my opinion, deny that she was raised there and it has made a profound impression on her. She's going to do the right thing. She cannot just look at people that are in peril and walk away from it. There's just no way she could do that. It's not who she is. In the episode arc, even though she's not part of the Jedi Order, she is acting very much like a Jedi.
Even though she's trying to carve out a life for herself, she can't change who she is, and she becomes kind of a undercity vigilante to some degree, helping people who can't help themselves.
She's extremely skilled, and I think over the years she's probably had the opportunity to hone her abilities, but there hasn't been as much day-to-day ongoing battling as she was doing in the Clone Wars. So you could say on some level, while she's become more measured, her growth is more spiritual in nature.
Ahsoka has a fighting style that is similar to where we left her in terms of having the 2 blades, but she's definitely much more in control. She's less impulsive. It may be less flashy, but it's certainly more impactful.
For me with Ahsoka, it was always important that as a young person, she's asking questions and she's not just following, that she can make up her own mind and that she can even go against what Anakin thinks. She has to be an individual. And to me, when you look at the Jedi in the prequel era, the one Jedi that has it most right is Qui-Gon. Because Qui-Gon understands that you can still love someone as long as you don't try to possess them, as long as you can let them go. He is selfless. Ahsoka is on a selfless path. And because Qui-Gon taught Obi-Wan, taught Anakin, taught her, that teaching is in her. She gets the benefit of Anakin and Obi-Wan. Both of them teach her throughout the course of her life. And so she has kind of a nicely balanced view of things, where a lot of Jedi, I don't think, have that. So Ahsoka's tied to all of that, but she's making her own decisions outside of those character arcs. But I have to look at the whole thing and piece it together and bring it to a conclusion here.
Much growth you have shown, Ahsoka Tano.
George and I talked at length about Order 66 and Ahsoka and what happened. And we had it all figured out. And one of the biggest things, one of the key elements is that her whole life, once she's trained by Anakin, when she's at peace and calm and looks into the Force, she can sense the presence of her friend. And this is something that occurs. She's always looked at the Force and been able to be comforted that he is there. When Order 66 happens, she reaches out to the Force and he's gone. There is no Anakin Skywalker. So just like there is non-existence of so many Jedi, she assumes he's dead. So when she encounters Darth Vader at the beginning of Rebels Season 2, she looks into this dark void, and at the center of it, she gets hit by something that's so familiar, it's overpowering, that it just shocks her back and she goes unconscious. Her unconscious mind is completely aware that Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker, but her conscious mind can't handle it. She just cannot accept that truth. So she spends the whole season basically coming to grips with that fact, which we see in the Jedi Temple, that this is the truth. Once she understands the truth that Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker, she is faced with the same problem Luke Skywalker faces, which is Luke says, I cannot kill my own father. And she cannot kill this person that was her dear friend. She cannot do it, but nor will she leave him and abandon him as she feels like she did before, because she feels guilt. Because if he became this terrible dark person that's done all these horrible things, she feels like she is in part responsible because she could have been there and prevented it. That's not necessarily true, but tell her that.
I've seen what such feelings can do to a fully trained Jedi Knight. To the best of us.
I don't want Ahsoka just to exist as an animated character. She's just a Star Wars character. And Star Wars characters exist in all forms of medium, and the more I can get exposure for her, I think it makes her even stronger as a character.
I've spoken at length about Gandalf. So if you want to really understand Ahsoka in this time period and what's happening to her, you could read Lord of the Rings, but you've probably seen that, but you should read it. But get the book on letters that Tolkien wrote, where he explains in detail more of the things that are really going on under the surface of the characters. And I used a lot of that extensively to inform what's happening to her.
I'm not really a Jedi, you know.
If you're not a Jedi, then what are you, Ahsoka Tano?
I'll let you know when I figure it out.